Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Hope you're all having a great Monday so far. Just another manic Monday, am I right? So, our house guest of the day is Bruce Mollenhoff. Bruce, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so much. So, thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Bruce, check out our Patreon link in the description below. It's only $1 for a holla. And also, while you're down in the description, you might want to check out our link for Paramount Plus. Check out the live feeds. We still have like what, 3.5 weeks to go? Is it 3.5 weeks? Is that right? So there's still some time, right? But if you use our link, it really helps us out, and we appreciate that as well. So, when we left off the other day, the house guests were trying to survive living outside in Jankie World, and it's looking bleak out there. They're really having a hard time. I don't think most of these house guests are into camping, and I also say that as a person who would not be into camping. But that being said, I like being outside, so not the end of the world for me. But anyway, these house guests were not handling it well, especially with the heat of California. That's really a drag, right? But Leah had nominated Rubina and Kimo for eviction, and they did already play in the Power Veto competition. So it was some sort of a puzzle. I'm not totally sure what exactly it was, but we do know the players were Leah, the HOH, the two nominees, Kimo and Rubina, and then 3 extra players, Angela, Tikor, and Chelsea. So there were 2 vetoes up for grabs. I know there was some confusion about this at the end of the last spoiler. We weren't 100% sure how everything shook out. But yes, there were 2 vetoes up for grabs. And we now know that Angela won the Golden Power Veto, first place. And Leah won the Jankie POV, which I believe meant she was second place in the competition. Oh my goodness. So mother-daughter winning the veto together. Very exciting. So we're still not 100% clear on how this Jankie POV situation works out. But from what I can understand here, it sounds like Leah will first give her decision whether or not she's going to use the Jankie POV. But in order to even have that decision, she has to like play in some little competition to see if she's going to be able to use it or not. So even after she does that competition, if she wins, she can still decide that she doesn't want to use it. But yeah, it also depends on whether she wins or not. So we'll see how that plays out. But then Angela will go second with her POV. And excuse me, that one will just work in the normal way. Okay, so let's get into the new stuff. Tikor and Rubina were chatting on Saturday afternoon, and they both agree if these nominations stay the same, Rubina and Kimo is most likely going to be going. And Tikor says that reality really sucks. I mean, she doesn't want to lose Rubina either. But it seems like she'd be more comfortable with Kimo going because, as we know, Tikor and Rubina have been kicking around this Girls Alliance idea. And every time they lose one of their guy allies, like Tucker or now potentially Kimo, they're like, all right, we're going all in on this girls thing. We're going to the end with the girls. Are they going to try and do anything to potentially save Kimo? Because now there are 2 vetoes in the mix this week. So if they try to cut some deals with Leah and Angela, it is possible that 2 people outside of their alliance could be up on the block in their place. They could all make it through this week. But are they actually going to do that? They have said before they're not willing to throw other people under the bus. Well, we're going to get into it. But they also talk about how they talk a lot of crap about Angela, and they have been for days now. But they talk about how Angela doesn't seem to realize that people have to like you in order for you to win at the end. People have to want you to win so that you can lock in those votes from the jury. So Tikor is not happy with Angela, and she's like, I think I want to talk to Angela after the veto ceremony. Of course, after the veto ceremony, before after everything's said and done. But she wants to tell Angela that she's been rude to Tikor since week 2. What? How has Angela been rude to Tikor specifically? The only thing I can think of is when Quinn told on Angela for saying that's the group. Remember that whole confrontation? But we know that Angela actually wanted to work with that group. But they kind of had like an awkward moment in the bathroom when Quinn was talking to Angela about what happened and T-Core was there. So like that's the only thing that I can think of, but even that wasn't like that bad. But I don't know what else she's referring to here. Maybe there's stuff we haven't seen. I don't know. But T-Core says, I refuse to let one person make my experience here negative. Okay, so Rubina's encouraging T-Core to do this, to talk to Angela after the ceremony about everything she's done wrong. And she's telling T-Core, you're probably one of the only people that would be safe even if you went up on the block. Like you don't have to worry about it. So you can confront her anyway. Like, and she doesn't even mean that T-Core would be going up this week necessarily. She means she doesn't have to worry about Angela wanting to retaliate and putting her up on the block next week because of whatever she's going to say to her. Okay, we'll see if you still want to have that conversation after this POV ceremony. We'll see. But Rubina's telling T-Core, everyone wants you here. You're a joy to be around. This is not big best friend, right? There's more to it than that. You could be the most wonderful person in the world, but if you're a threat to win this whole thing, people are going to want to vote you out. So I wouldn't be so confident that T-Core is 100% safe if she goes up on the block. But anyway, we will come back to that again, of course. So Rubina and T-Core are not sure if Angela will use the veto this week. T-Core saying maybe she will use it and Cam will go up and out. Rubina says no, because Leah promised there wouldn't be a backdoor. This is Big Brother. You can break promises. Also, you're on the block. Why are you dismissing a possible backdoor move that could save both you and Kimo? I just feel like Rubina is almost completely checked out of the game at this point, and it's wild to me. So T-Core says she thinks it's probably likely that nominations will just stay the same. Kimo will go. And she says any options besides Kimo or Cam leaving this week would be off-putting. She says it would not be smart for Leah to put her or Chelsea up on the block because they would just stay anyway. And then they would both be going after Leah. I feel like T-Core is getting way too comfy here. She's getting way too confident. But it also doesn't seem like she's considering at that point. Both vetoes could be used. So it could be T-Core and Chelsea even up on the block against each other. She doesn't know. But these two are already looking at the benefits of Kimo leaving this week. I mean, they're done with him. They're ready to throw him in the trash because it means they will be safe. So, which I mean, that makes sense, right? This is an individual game, but because they preach so much about how much they love their trio and they're there for a higher purpose and yada, 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 you would think that they would actually like fight for Kimo to stay, but they're just ready to like be done with him, which is wild. So they figure with Kimo gone, our threat level goes down. We will be the least threatening out of anyone else in this house. And they figure as long as Leah and Angela don't win HOH next week, those two are probably going to go up on the block instead of Rubina or T-Core. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is really annoying me today. Okay, so then later, T-Core and Chelsea have a one-on-one chat. And Chelsea is venting about Cam yet again. She's really annoyed that he asked Leah during the HOH competition if they should finish things out on one leg because she's like, all right, Cam didn't do that until after he established the safety deal with Leah and Angela. So Chelsea feels like Cam basically gave Leah the win once he was safe. And she says he didn't consider how that would affect anyone else. So clearly she's PO'd that Cam didn't stick with it and win this HOH competition to keep her 100% safe. But he was there for like 10 hours. It was a little under 10 hours. And you're all upset with him that he didn't try hard enough. When did you drop out? Because it wasn't after 10 hours. But Chelsea says, I can't be too mad because Cam is doing what's best for him in this game. I'm just going to have to consider that moving forward. You know, I'm going to have to do what's best for me. Yeah. So then Chelsea also brings up, it's still bothering her how Cam is cuddling up with Mackenzie. And I mean, she's got nowhere to hide right now, nowhere to escape to when everybody is locked in the backyard. And yes, they are still cuddling up even in the backyard in front of other people. Ah! So T-Core says, I like Cam as a person, but in this game, he's not a priority to me. And she says, if Cedric was still here, he'd be a priority to me. What? You flipped the vote on him. You were one of the biggest parts of flipping that vote on him. So that's insane that she's saying this right now. But I think some of these house guests might be losing it a little bit in the backyard. I don't know. But anyway, the rest of Saturday night, T-Core and Rubina were chatting. And again, they are talking like Kimo is already gone. He's hanging out in the jury house with Quinn. And they're talking about how they're going to go all in on their 6 women to the final 6 plan. Again, there are 2 vetoes in play this week. They're not even going to try to save Kimo. They're talking about playing for a higher purpose, getting all those women to the end. Like that's never happened before, that many women in the final 6. So Rubina is also talking about how she wasn't talking about this specifically, but we can tell from what she was saying. She's ready to throw her game away for T-Core. She is like, I can see you winning over me in the end, but I don't care. She says she would be so happy. She would love it if T-Core won this whole thing and then Rubina wins America's favorite. Rubina winning America's favorite? I don't know if she's even top 3. I don't am I missing something here? Maybe I'm way off base here, but I don't see Rubina even being in the top 3. But yeah, she's got these dreams of T-Core winning and then her getting America's favorite. They're also talking about how people are jealous of the trio's friendship, especially Angela. Leave Angela out of this. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about what happened on Sunday. It's time for some one-on-ones with lots of airplane sounds interrupting. It's hard on the ears. All right, so Kimo and Leah have a chat. And Kimo says he still really wants to be there. Could have fooled me. No, I mean, I guess he does want to be there, but I don't know how much game he actually wants to play. He just wants to hang out. But he tells Leah, I want to work with you. He says, I'm not a threat. I don't win competitions, but I could be good for your game. I want to protect you. How does he intend to protect her with his not winning competitions? I just feel like Kimo is not great at making arguments for himself. Like there are other things that he could be saying, but he doesn't. So yeah, he also says keeping me around helps level the playing field. I'll give him that. I mean, it's probably going to be easier for Leah to beat somebody like like Kimo compared to someone like Cam in the final 2, right? But yeah, I guess that's what he's saying. He's easier to beat when he's talking about leveling the playing field. He also does acknowledge, yes, he is in a trio, but he says he's playing as an individual. Okay. And he says he would not put Leah up moving forward. I don't really believe that. I mean, T-Core had told him earlier, like, tell Leah whatever she needs to hear, promise her everything, and then if you win HOH, you can go back on it. So yeah, I don't believe what Kimo's saying here. But he also says, if you need me to promise that I'll take you to the end, then let's do it. Let's go to the end together. And again, I have to say, with what comp wins? I'm not saying that Kimo can't win a competition, but his track record so far has not been great. Also, why would Leah believe that Kimo would ditch the trio for her? It just doesn't make sense. So Leah does say she feels like if she was at the end with Kimo, they would both have a fair chance to win. She says if she did not promise people safety during the HOH competition, her nominations may have been a little bit different this week, because she did promise Cam and Angela both safety. But like, I don't know that she would have gone after either of them anyway. I think she's just saying this. But yeah, eventually Kimo, he actually starts gaming a little bit. It's exciting. He brings up, hey, there's another trio in the house, meaning Cam, Mackenzie, and Chelsea. And he says those 3 have a much better comp record than the people I'm rolling with. Yes, more of this. That's a very good point. It's a very good point he's bringing up. And Leah's like, I have picked up on that as well. I've been thinking about it. And she explains there are other people that she was thinking about putting up as the initial nominees, but she knew that if she put them up and they stayed, it was going to be the start of World War III. Like they were going to be pissed at her. They were going to come after her. So, I mean, this could apply to Chelsea and or T-Core. I'm not sure who exactly she was referring to. Maybe she meant both of them. I don't know. But she's explaining to Kimo, I felt like you and Rubina could handle being on the block. Also, I think she knows they're less likely to win competitions than some other people. So whichever one of them stays, there's a good chance they might not even win a competition and be able to come after her. But also, she wants to split up that trio. So Leah is encouraging Kimo to talk to Angela because she has the real POV this week. Leah might not even get the chance to use hers. It depends on what happens in her Jankie POV competition, apparently. Okay. So later, Chelsea and Rubina are chatting. And Chelsea's asking Rubina, do you think either of these vetoes are going to be used? Well, see, the problem here is that Rubina has not talked any game with Leah or Angela about the vetoes. Oh my God. You were on the block. What are you doing? Why have you not talked to them? But she says the best case scenario would be for nominations to stay the same. Rubina, what? Have you forgotten that you are on the block and you're on the block with one of your freaking besties and you want the nominations to stay the same? It's just wild to me. Again, it's just showing that Rubina and T-Core have just basically written Kimo off. They're already counting him out. He's already gone for them, basically. But Chelsea lets Rubina know you should be fine up on the block against Kimo. You should have the votes to stay. And Rubina is reinforcing to Chelsea that she wants to get to the end with all women. This is basically the only game that Rubina will talk outside of conversations with T-Core. Like she is not talking a lot of game with other people. And that's like the only thing that she's saying, that she wants to go to the end with the women. We're going to make herstory. Okay, later, Kimo has his one-on-one with Angela. So he congratulates her on her veto win. I mean, she's building quite the resume here with the comp wins, I gotta say. And he's saying he wants to protect both her and Leah. He promises Angela he would not put her up on the block. And again, I have a hard time believing this. I think he's just saying it. But he tells Angela, do what's best for your game with this veto. But if you think that me protecting you and not putting you up is the best for your game, maybe consider using it. So Angela lets him know she's pretty much already decided what she's going to do with this veto, but she still wants to hear everyone out. She wants to see what kind of information she can get from people. But she tells Kimo, I feel really good about what I'm planning on doing. And she tells Kimo, you're good. So she's basically letting Kimo know she will be using the veto to save him this week. And she's like, finally, I can do something. I don't have to depend on other people. I can go with my heart. She says, I'm going to do what I want to do. And she tells Kimo, you're a good person and you deserve to be here. So she's asking Kimo, keep it on the down low because I still want to, hear Rubina out, see what she has to say. And she doesn't want this information getting out there yet. So it seems like Angela is trying to patch things up with Kimo after voting him out twice. Because that's definitely still fresh in his mind that she has promised her vote for him not once, but twice, and then went ahead and voted him out, and she was on the wrong side of the vote. So, yeah, she's definitely trying to mend some fences with this. But later, Rubina gets her chance to talk to Angela. And Rubina's basically doing the bare minimum here. She's not even asking Angela to use the veto on her. She's not offering Angela anything. Rubina's just talking again about how great it would be to get all women to the final 6. Girl, you need to step it up because this ain't it. Oh my God. What are you doing? I don't know. She's just not like super familiar with the game and like how campaigning and all that works, but this ain't it. So meanwhile, Leah and Cam are chatting And Cam is doing way more than Rubina, and he's not even on the block. So Leah brings up, it would appear that there are two trios right now. She's right. And she says, I'm not a part of either of them, right? I am on the outs with both. And she's really worried that those trios are going to prioritize each other over her. Yes, that is correct. So Leah tells Cam, I trust you the most out of anyone, but is it dumb of me to trust Chelsea and Mackenzie? I mean, we saw what they did to Quinn after Quinn was cool with them when he was HOH, and then they were like, we're getting rid of you. They're not the most trustworthy when it comes to stuff like that. But Cam is going to bat for them and saying, no, it's not dumb to trust them. I trust them a ton. So Leah brings up, okay, but like I was on the wrong side of the last few votes. I was left out of those. That I could have been included in that. We just needed some more communication. She says it did not feel good to be on the wrong side. It definitely left a sour taste in her mouth when it comes to Chelsea and Mackenzie, right? So Leah is looking at the other trio, T-Core's trio, and she's like, I feel like I can beat them in competitions. Leah's had a great competition week, right? So she's thinking maybe those three are not really as big of a threat as she thought they were. And Cam is pushing like, no, T-Core's trio's power lies in the votes. Those three are always going to vote together. That is a very dangerous voting block, especially now that they're in the final 8. But like, so is Cam's. Cam's trio is also 3 people voting together. I also have to say I do believe that Chelsea, Cam, and Mackenzie would be more likely to turn on each other than T-Core's trio would be. So I think T-Core's trio is tighter, but yeah, that other trio is also voting together. So Leah is saying she's not sure what she should do if Angela uses the veto, and Cam is pushing for T-Core to go up as the replacement. Not necessarily for her to go. He says whoever is next to T-Core is definitely going to go. And he says it just guarantees that someone from the trio will go if T-Core is up there. Also, he doesn't want any of his allies going up. So Leah brings up, Chelsea kind of makes me nervous, though. I just have to put this out there. Leah felt like she was doing a really good job of building a relationship with Chelsea, but then she got scared last week when she found out that Chelsea was considering her as a potential renom. Remember, she was freaking out about it and she stayed in bed for like days. She was not just upset because Quinn went up. She was also upset that she was being considered. So Cam is encouraging Leah, Chelsea's cool. Solidify your relationship with her. It's going to be okay. So Cam is really advocating for his allies. The other trio could never. Right? I mean, they just like, they're not even trying, it seems like. But a little later, the 2 veto winners, Angela and Leah, have a chat. And Angela reveals she wants to use the veto on Kimo. She feels really bad about voting him out twice. She wants him there. And Angela and Leah both feel that Kimo is being honest, that he would keep them both safe. No, what? I don't think so. I think there are bigger fish to fry, but like, you're really gonna trust Kimo to keep you safe? I don't know about that. But Leah is leaning towards putting T-Core up on the block as the replacement. She wants to make sure that trio's broken up. Angela does say, like, it'd be kind of great if we could get T-Core out of here. She's the bigger target. But they realize the votes are probably not there. So they would be okay with Rubina going. But Leah is just kind of scared about putting T-Core up because if T-Core stays, which it seems likely that she would, she's scared that T-Core will be motivated to win HOH and take a shot at Leah the following week. So Angela's telling Leah, it's going to be okay. You have me. You've got Mackenzie. We're going to both have your back. Mackenzie's ready to throw anyone in the garbage at any moment, but especially Leah. So it's just weird, though, because, like, they both have vetoes and they're not really considering using both vetoes to take out a bigger target because sure, T-Core is pretty safe against Kimo or Rubina, but if you use both vetoes and you put up Chelsea and T-Core, one of them's going to have to go, right? So that's definitely something that they can do, but they do not seem open to that idea because they don't want to have both trios targeting them. They kind of just want to keep it to one trio, which, I mean, I understand, but I also don't think that they're going to be buying that much goodwill from Chelsea's trio by leaving them off the block, because I think Chelsea's trio would probably target them anyway. So I think that's kind of a mistake. But anyway, the one-on-ones continue. Let's go through some highlights here. Chelsea was encouraging Leah to put up T-Core as the replacement. Ooh! I bet T-Core is not expecting that. Mackenzie is telling Leah it'd be a better move to take out T-Core over Rubina this week. I mean, yeah. Could Mackenzie potentially get the votes, though? I don't know. You would need 3 votes to pull that off, right? So if it was like Mackenzie, Leah, and then another person, I think it's going to be hard to get Chelsea on board with that, but maybe Cam, right? It's possible. So, yeah, Mackenzie is hoping that's something that she can make happen. But then T-Core and Leah are chatting, and Leah is claiming she doesn't know what Angela's going to do with this veto. Lies. She definitely does, but she's trying to distance herself from that move a bit, right? She doesn't want to let people know that she knew this was coming. But she does admit to T-Core, if Angela does use the veto, T-Core could potentially be going up as the replacement. And Leah's like, I don't want to do that, but I want you to know if you do go up on the block, you're going to be safe against anyone. You're going to be fine. And T-Core is just ming through this conversation as she usually does. And she tells Leah, I will respect whatever decision you make, but I hope you're not going to put me up, because it would suck to be up against Kimo or Rubina. So throughout the rest of this conversation, T-Core is being very quiet. There are a lot of really long, awkward silences. And Leah was asking, like, are you okay? And T-Core says, I'm processing right now. So it was like, awkward. But T-Core makes a half-hearted argument for why she shouldn't go up. She's like, I'm not good at physical comps. There are other people that are better than me. And Leah picks up on what T-Core's putting down, right? She's basically saying, like, Cam potentially should be the replacement. And Leah's like, I can't do that. I promised Cam that he would be safe this week during the HOH competition. So that was pretty much that. T-Core did not really fight anymore besides that to stay off the block. In other news, we saw last night Angela and Leah solidified their final 2. They're calling themselves the Lorraines because they both have the middle name Lorraine. That's fun. This is a final 2 I can get behind. I don't know. It would just be like the icing on top of the cake if Angela made it to the final 2 this season after how crazy it's been. But during this conversation also, Leah is she's got cold feet about putting T-Core up on the block because she's just really nervous that T-Core will win HOH and try to retaliate. But Angela is pushing, like, no, we need to make this move. Go through with it. It's going to be fine. And Angela also wants to let Kimo know how T-Core and Rubina were fine with him potentially leaving this week. And they want to let him know how hard T-Core and Rubina, out of anyone, have been pushing for a girls' alliance. Oh, snap. Now we're talking. That's gonna be interesting if she does follow through with that. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that'd be wild. Also, last night, there was some drama. Chelsea caught Cam and Mackenzie cuddled up. They thought that she was asleep. She woke up. She saw this going down. And Chelsea made a huge scene of moving her cot away from them to the other side of the yard. And she was talking about how Cam was being an asshole. And Cam was asking from the other side of the yard, why am I an asshole? So, like, they kind of got into it a little bit. Ooh, it was super awkward. And everyone was just like, we're trying to sleep. why loud noises? But it was super, super awkward. And the tension has still not really eased up so far today between Cam and Chelsea. Yikes. So today we are still waiting on the POV ceremony. Let me just see if they're doing it right now or not yet. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's check feeds bot. Still no. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know why Usually at this point in the day, they've already done the POV ceremony, but for some reason it's been really delayed today. So maybe it has something to do with Leah, because she's gonna have to do her Jankie POV little competition to see if she's even able to use her veto or not. So maybe that's holding up the works. But as far as we know, the plan is Leah does not want to use her Jankie POV. So that's a bust. Boo. Angela does plan to use her veto on Kimo, and Leah is planning on putting up T-Core in his place. So we'll have T-Core versus Rubina on the block if that does happen. And who knows who would leave between the two of them, because at first thought, it's like, all right, it's going to be Rubina because everybody loves T-Core. But we know Mackenzie is motivated to take out T-Core. Angela wants that to happen. So Mackenzie seems to think she can convince Cam to vote out T-Core. We'll see. I mean, she is a much stronger contender to win this whole thing over Rubina, right? So it would make sense to take T-Core out, but we'll see if that flip actually happens or not. So if you want to check back later, I will post the POV ceremony results. Yeah, so I just want to thank you all so much for being here, and I want to give a special thanks to our super chatters. David Cushmore, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it. David says it's time to get out the big three: Chelsea, T-Core, and Mackenzie. Which of the big three do you want out? I mean, I feel like the only possibility for this week is T-Core, because I don't think Chelsea's going up. Mackenzie's not going up. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing T-Core go. I think Quinn would be pretty shocked to see her walk in the jury house. But yeah, I just feel like she's gotten way too comfortable in there, and I'm curious to see what Kimo and Rubina would do if she was gone. It'd be interesting. But excellent question. Anita Nestler, oh my God, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. You are amazing. Anita says the best outcome would be both vetoes used on T-Core and Chelsea. I know, right? That would be the most exciting, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And Anita says, thank you for your updates. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate you. Wendy Will, thank you so much. Wendy says so many comments about how mean Angela is, and maybe it's true, but the fact that she's still in the house and has been saved by the veto 3 times plus winning 2 HOHs is very impressive. I have to agree. I did not expect her, number one, to still even be there at this point, but number two, to like actually be winning competitions and being such a huge part of the game. It's super, super impressive. I did not think from her preseason interview that this was going to happen. So it's been a lot of fun to watch her. Plus, she's just like really fun, like a fun personality to watch on the show and on the feeds. So she's been very entertaining. But yeah, I mean, we've seen her do some like dumb crap like while Lisa was there, and obviously Matt, but like other than that, she hasn't been that bad. So I don't know what that's all about. But Sean Davis, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And Sean says, these house guests are so scared. Now is the time to make big moves so you get the votes to win. Keep playing safe and you'll be talking to Julie. I mean, you're right. Like at this point in the game, we're getting down to it. There's not a lot of time left. So this is the time to like take your big swings. I mean, how often do we see 2 vetoes up for grabs in the game? So like, why would you not take advantage of that and make a big move? This is the time to do it. So it's kind of disappointing that they're not really thinking about utilizing that, but we'll see what happens. So thank you again all so much for being here. We will be back tomorrow for another spoiler live stream, and we hope you'll join us. So until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.